Hello, YouTube world. Everyday oppression here. So it's after the Christmas holidays, and now we're heading on towards 2017. So, like I said, I was going to make a quick video, just shortly before that, happened. So this video here is going to be somewhat in two parts. And the first part will be on a lighter note, a gooder note. And then the second half will be a little bit more sadder, a little bit more realistic, and discussing issues about death and why human beings mourn. So I'd like to start things off on a happy note, and I'm going to showcase some of the presents I got from family and loved ones. So Christmas was good. Spent it with the folks this year. We all got a lot of money from our scratch and win tickets. My parents gave me clothes, which was really nice. From one of my old roommates, I managed to get this, a handmade scarf that she made herself for me. I think it looks very nice. Then from the current roommate, he gave me, wait for it, Pikachu slippers. Yes, I know I'm a 31-year-old man, but I still love Pokemon as I grew up with them, and so he gave me these to warm up my feet with. Let me just put those on there. Okay. And from one of my beautiful nieces here, she actually painted me a painting all on her own. So I'm just going to showcase that here for you. Give me a quick second. Ta-da! Isn't that sweet? My little niece. And from the current squeeze, aka my boyfriend, can't believe I'm saying that, he actually got me what's called Legendario, Elixir de Cuba. So I guess Cuba rum, which I will be having right now. Look how smooth that is. Oof. I don't want to have too much, otherwise I'll get tipsy. And you don't want to see me tipsy. He also got me a few other clothes and stuff too, and this wonderful little toque of The Nightmare Before Christmas. I look like I'm ready for winter. So with ginger snap cookies in hand from my one other roommate that I used to live with, as well, the same one who made the scarf here. So 2016 has been a very interesting year. It seems like a lot of good celebrities have passed away. The recent one that kind of inspired this video here was the late Carrie Fisher. She died on December the 27th. It looked like she had a second heart attack, and she just didn't pull through from there. So she died at the age of 60. And then shortly after that, her own mother, Debbie Reynolds, died as well. So that's kind of sad. So because with the passing of Carrie Fisher, I decided to take a look at all the celebrity deaths of 2016. So if you go online to google.com, there were actually a lot of celebrities that I did not even know passed away. David Bowie obviously passed, Alan Rickman, may he rest in peace. Harper Lee herself, the one who wrote To Kill a Mockingbird, she died at the age of 89. George Kennedy died at 91. Gary Shandling died at 66, actor and comedian. Mother Mary Angelica, 92, the folksy Roman Catholic nun who used a monastery garage to begin the Catholic TV powerhouse EWTN. Power to you. Patty Duke died at the age of 69. Doris Roberts died at the age of 90 back on April 17th. The woman who played the mother of Raymond from Everybody Loves Raymond. She passed away too. China. 46, tall, muscular-bound, raven-haired pro wrestler. She died as well on April the 20th. Prince, of course, died at the age of 57. And look at this. Muhammad Ali died at age 74 on June the 3rd. He passed away as well. Again, I knew about that one, and that was quite sad. Anton Yelchin, he died at 27. I believe he was crushed by a neighbor's car, so that was quite unfortunate. He died on June the 19th. And to carry on with Carrie Fisher's death in the realm of Star Wars, looks like Kenny Baker died at age 81. He was the lovable droid R2-D2, where nobody really saw his face or heard him speak for all his entire career, but he became a cultural icon because of Star Wars. So he died August the 13th. Eric Bauserfeld, excuse me for butchering that, died at the age of 93, who used the three words, "It's a trap," from one of the most beloved lines of the Star Wars series. Died on April the 3rd.
It's a trap!
Geez, a lot of deaths. Gene Wilder, at age 83, died on August the 28th. He was best known for roles such as in The Producers and Young Frankenstein. He was a comedian, Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. So that was a sad day. Huh, no way. Holly Dunn, a country singer who rose to fame with hits like Daddy's Hands and You Really Had Me Going. She died at 59 on November the 14th. I remember that song, Daddy's Hands. That was a great song. Florence Henderson, she died at 82. The Broadway star, died on November 24th. She starred in The Brady Bunch as the mom. That's sad. And obviously Fidel Castro. One of my previous roommates named Steve, he actually visited Cuba in the time of Castro's funeral, and it turned out that no music or headphones were allowed in mourning of this dictator. So that was very interesting, I thought. What? Ron Glass? What? So Ron Glass is the actor who played Bishop in the show Firefly, which I love, and in the movie Serenity. He was the religious preacher who died in the movie, as well as now apparently in real life. He died on November the 25th. Joseph Mascalo? What? The actor who played iconic Days of Our Lives villain Stefano DiMera died on December the 7th. He was 87 years old. I used to watch Days of Our Lives with my mom, and he was always coming up with new schemes to kidnap Marlena and destroy her and John's relationship. So that's really sad. No way! Alan Thicke, 69, the versatile performer who gained his greatest fame as beloved dad on the sitcom Growing Pains. He died on December the 13th. Holy crap. Zsa Zsa Gabor, she died at 99. Wow, one step away from 100. Good on you. She died on December the 18th. Oh, yes, George Michael died at 53. He was a pop heartthrob, obviously, and died on December the 25th on Christmas Day. So, have fun with that. And, of course, Carrie Fisher died at 60 on December the 27th. And then, not a day after, Debbie Reynolds, age 84. She died a day after her daughter. How sad is that? So the point of this video here, again, it will tone things down a little bit, but I feel it is necessary to kind of talk about. So why do we mourn? Mourning happens in a lot of different ways, and there's not just any black and white way to describe it. To some people, when they lose a loved one or a friend or family member, it will hit them pretty hard. So they will mourn in their way, which is a little bit more emotional, more tragic, whereas some, will mourn more privately, away from the public eye. There's all different kinds of mourning. So it really just got me thinking that I have never actually experienced a lot of death in my life. I have had extended family members die on me, such as, my grandmother or a cousin. But because I really don't interact with them as much or as often as I would wish, mourning them is not as deep as it would be for the family and friends who were constantly being in the lives of those people. So in that sense, why do we mourn? Why do human beings mourn the loss of friends and family? What I find very interesting are those types of people that shame or talk down on those people who would wish to express their mourning. They would compare the deaths of celebrities to the victims of terrorism or the victims of crime, such as homicide and murder in their cities. Why aren't we bringing attention to these deaths? Well, I think the answer is quite simple. Let's say there's deaths that happened in the city of Chicago, and I can't really feel any sympathy towards these people because I don't know anybody in Chicago. They're just a statistic to me. Now, this isn't meaning to sound insensitive, but the fact is that how can one mourn the death of strangers if they've never met them? I don't know what they went through in life. I don't know the people they know. I don't know what they stood for, their beliefs, accomplishments in life. So because they are so far disattached from me, I can hear their deaths on the news, for instance, but I don't feel any connection. So therefore, my mourning for these people's deaths is very minimal. Now, Now, when it comes to celebrities and celebrity deaths, people will shame other people for mourning these celebrities even though they've never met. The thing about celebrity deaths is that they are actually within the public eye. We get to see parts of their life because they're rich and famous. Actors, actresses, novelists, people in high institutional power such as President Obama, Donald Trump, Hillary Clinton. So like people who are in the public eye are more noticed than those who are, the common folk who don't get noticed as often as celebrities do. So like I can feel attachment to certain people even though I've never met them before, such as Alan Rickman. I loved his acting. I loved his voice. I loved what he stood for. And in fact, I did a tribute on one of my very first videos on my YouTube channel. Even though I've never met Alan Rickman and the chances of meeting him in person were very, very slim, I had a connection to him. So my sense of mourning and tribute to Alan Rickman has some meaning to me because I felt a connection to him. In a way, we haven't just lost that individual, we've lost a sense of ourselves. Just imagine a loved one, your wife or your husband or a child departing this world onto the next, and having that hole in your heart or a space that is no longer filled. Mourning comes not only just after a death, but for anniversaries of deaths. So things that might trigger that in some person, a laugh that they don't hear, a letter that they find, or old school videos, home videos that you see of your family, that will trigger somebody into remembering what they lost. And I find that people who shit on other people for expressing that type of mourning are some of the worst people. Like, for example, here, after Carrie Fisher's death, Jonathan McIntosh on Twitter had used her death in order to kind of push his agenda. Now, if any of you don't know, Jonathan McIntosh is this cuckold, this fucking male who thinks he knows everything there is to know about masculinity, patriarchal control. So he posted this tweet here, basically saying, for those sharing images of Leia as a slave, the search term you are looking for is General Organa. Now, what does this mean, you might ask? Well, what this means is that he's using her recent death in order to bring light to how people view her, especially in the role of Princess Leia out of Star Wars. And he specifically pointed out her being a slave. Now, like when people refer to Princess Leia, he's thinking that we only refer to her as her skimpy bikini outfit, chained slave that was Princess Leia with Jabba the Hutt. The problem here is that he's pigeonholing how we all see her. And like you can't determine how everyone will take notice of somebody, because we will see them in different lights, in different ways. Anytime I heard of Princess Leia, I heard the word nerf herder when she's having an argument with Han Solo, played by Harrison Ford. I remember her hair buns and her white gowns. The fact that she was a princess and yet she led the rebels against the Empire. She stood for something that was right and that was good. She sided with the Jedis. I mean, like, he used her death to push his own agenda. Like, talk about unprofessional and really disrespectful, I think, because he's bottlenecking Carrie Fisher's role as Princess Leia as this slave. So, like, there's mixed emotions right now in regards to Jonathan McIntosh posting this tweet right after Carrie Fisher's death. So instead of celebrating the greatness of Princess Leia and her character played by Carrie Fisher, her relationship with the other actors and what she stood for, he bottlenecks her into a fucking slave or a sexualized object. People like that who use people's death and to shit all over them. I mean, like, why would you want to shit on other people who are in mourning or are sad when somebody passes? You know, like, I think the reason why we mourn is to remember all the good things that that person had in life. You know, we shouldn't ignore the negative side of it, but in this time of passing, a life moved on, a life died, and we need to recognize and remember the good things about them. Don't use a person's death to fuel an agenda. Don't use a person's death to, fuel your politics. It's just tacky. So in saying that, on a lighter note, life is important and we need to respect it. And the reason why we mourn is to showcase that respect. So, all right, guys, if you like this video, like and subscribe. You know what to do. And I hopefully will have another video up just before New Year's. And if not, I will see you in 2017. And always remember, take care of one another. Bye, guys.
It's a trap!